Sir, I would like to, ask you that, there are so many sectors in the ecosystem which has been, operating for quite some time. So, like we are discussing healthcare and financial services. So, one cannot expect that there will be a totally new sector or the sector coming in the picture in the quite frequent manner. But what's your view in that, for founders to kind of identify the subsector or the segments which can, kind of highlight their own value add and, better connectivity with their audience, and ultimately, follow a path of exponential growth. So the point I would like to, make is that, we have a list of sector which everybody is able to relate to. But under that, how is important to identify a subsector and create your own value? So, and what's your advice to, founders regarding that? So, yeah.
Thanks, Nitin. Pleasure to be part of this panel. Very interesting question. Yeah, so we all know about the broad sectors, right? We've already spoken about fintech, health tech, e-commerce, SaaS, and broadly deep tech. Deep tech itself is so huge and so broad because there can be subsectors within deep tech, right? And we can go deep down. Deep tech can be deep down. So I mean, for any founder, when he looks at a venture like Mr. Sridhar mentioned, today everybody wants to do a startup and be a founder. So one key element is to look at yourself, like what do you understand well? Like what is so need not be a sector you have worked in, but at least it has to be a sector where you have done some work on, you understand the space, typically we have seen that founding teams are more than one, right? And most businesses are technology driven. So it's very important to have a founder who understands technology, especially the technology or the space you want to work in. So build the right team. So even before you look at the sector, or sometimes you have clarity, right? Some founders have clarity, I want to do so and so. But if you don't have, then you need to have a tech founder if technology is an area you want to work on, and somebody who understands the business side of things, the sector itself. Now, which sector, it's very difficult to say, you should look at this sector, but I can give you some broad views, right? One of the key elements, the way businesses have come up in India, if you see, is ideas from West have been adapted into India or the East, I would say. So you continue to look at ideas in different sectors or subsectors which have been coming up in the West, but then don't blindly follow them. You have to see whether you can adapt them to India. Some ideas may not just be workable in India, and we have seen those examples where it doesn't work in the Indian. For example, autonomous vehicles. I mean, like it or not, you can do work on that, but it will be long time before it can be adapted to India. But you can always sit in India, develop the technology, because you can develop for the world. So what are you looking at? Are you looking at building a business for India, or you want to build a business out of India for the world? So within sectors, you have to analyze what is your core strength and then look at sectors around that. For example, we spoke about fintech, right? There's a lot of work which has happened in fintech over the years. It has been the largest funded sector. Similarly, I see that opportunity growing in health tech, because we are seeing infra developing in health tech. For example, the health tech stack work is happening on that. Like the fintech stack was developed, UPI, Aadhaar, and all that. So there is Aadhaar is anyway universal; it will apply to every sector. So we see that the government and there are bodies which are working on developing the health tech stack. So there will be business model innovation around that. Within e-com itself, there is a lot which can be done. We have seen broad e-com, then sectoral focused in e-com, then business model innovations, social e-com, and all kind of stuff. Now we have seen D2C growing. D2C itself could be a 500 billion opportunities in the year to come, which is a mix of physical and digital, right? So if you are somebody who understands particular space in the consumer product space. That is something which you can look at. We have seen some wonderful work happening there. Logistics technology, green energy, or green tech in general, sustainable technologies. Those are areas where a lot of money will go in, both in India and globally, and you can work in those areas. Green fuel. So broadly, there, SaaS is something which will be evergreen. No, you continue to innovate in marketing automation, ad tech, and so much is happening on SaaS. SaaS itself is a growing sector. People are doing innovation in SaaS for SaaS because SaaS itself has become so big. So I'd say understanding your core strength, having the right team, and then looking at areas in which you want to build, rural tech, agri tech. See, development in deep techs will also bring in new areas of market business model innovations. For example, as IoT becomes more advanced, you can use the technology to, develop various agri-tech focused areas, green energy focused areas. So many areas you can get into business model innovation using technology developments which are happening. That way, technology businesses will also do well, and you can use that for business model, because a lot of work in India over the years has happened, if you see, on the business model innovation side, where we have used technology to deliver a product or to provide a service and things like that. But deep tech is something which will continue to grow and get used in different areas. So this is broadly what my thoughts are around this.